Hello everyone. Now we have to discuss the relationship between all parameters. So we all know that we are having four types of parameter representations. Those are Z, Y, H and T parameters, right? So for example, if we have the data of Z parameter representation, so by using that data we have to get the other three data representations. Okay. So first we have to get the data of Y parameter representation from Z parameter representation. So from this, given data is what? Given data is what? Z parameter representation, right? Required is what? Y parameter representation, that is what is the governing equation for Z parameter representation? That is V1 is equal to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2, like that V2 is equal to what? Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2, right? Like that for Y parameter implementation, that is I1 is equals to Y11 V1 plus Y12 V2, and I2 is equals to what? Y21 V1 plus Y22 V2. That's it. This is for Z, this is for Z, this is for Y. Means we have to manipulate the given data equations to match the equations of required data. Here we are having what? V1, I1, I11, I1, I2 are what? Independent variables. V1 is what? Dependent variable. Like that, in case of Y parameter representation, I1 is what? Dependent, V1, V2 are independent. So we have to get the equations of Z parameter representation in terms of Y parameters. We have to match the equations of Z parameter representation to Y parameter representation. That's it. That is the key point to get the required data. What is the key point? We have to match the given data governing equations only. We have to match the given data governing equations only. Sorry, we have to manipulate. It's better. We have to manipulate the given data governing equations only to match the equations of equations of required data representation. That's it. So we have to manipulate the given data equations to match the required data equations. But we all know that in this transformation from Z to Y, there is no need of manipulating, because we all know that Y is equals to what? Reciprocal of impedance. Like that, impedance is what? Reciprocal of admittance. But in this regard, we don't need any manipulation of Z to get Y, right? Because Y, which is equals to what? Reciprocal of impedance. That's it. Of course, we will manipulate this Z. Obviously, we will get Y, but it will take time. Instead of that, we are having this equation, right? Then why we need that manipulation technique? That is V is equals to I into Z, right? So from this, I is equals to what? V by Z, which is nothing but what? V by, right? So now we have to get Y11, Y12, Y21, Y22, which are nothing but what? Z11, Z12, Z21, Z22 inverse. We all know that this is 2 by 2 matrix. What is the inverse of 2 by 2 matrix? Simple. You have to get the determinant of Z, that is delta Z, and we have what? Like this, right? And Z21, Z22. That's it. Over. The answer is over. Where delta Z, which is equals to Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21. That's it. Therefore, we have what? Therefore, from this, required data of Y11, which is equals to what? Z11 by delta Z, like that. Y12, which is equals to what? Minus Z12 by delta Z, like that. Y21, which is equals to what? Minus Z21 by delta Z. Y22, which is equals to what? Z22 by delta Z. That's it. This is what required, right? This is what given. That's all for Z to Y transformation. That is, we have to get the data of Y from Z. Next, we have to get the data of H parameter representation from Z parameter representation. First, you have to write the governing equations of given data as well as required data. So here given data is what? Like that. Required data. So given data, sorry, required data. Then what are the governing equations for given data? That is V1, which is equals to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2. That's it. Like that, V2 is equals to what? Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2 completed. So for this, we have what? Input supply voltage, which is equals to H11 V2, then H12, sorry, I1, V1, H11 I1, right? H11 I1, this is what? H12 V2. Like that, output current, which is equals to H21 into I1 plus H22 V2. That's it. So let us say this is equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, this is equation 4, that's it. So we have to manipulate the given data representations to match the required data representations. See, for example, if you see the equation 1, we have what? V1 which is equals to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2. So coming to equation 3, we have to match this equation with this, right? What is the key point? We have to match the equations, these two are get matched, like that. These two equations, okay. So if you observe from this 1 and 3, V1 is what? Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2, like that. 3 is what? H11 I1 plus H12 V2. So V1, so from here to here, this part and this part same, just we have to manipulate this Z12 I2 part to match H12 V2, right? Therefore for that, here I would like to consider from equation 2. What is equation 2? I would like to calculate I2. From equation 2, I2 is equals to what? V2 minus Z21 I1 by Z22. Therefore we have to substitute this I2 equation. Only we have to manipulate the given data representation, that's it. Only we have to manipulate the given data representation, that's it. So we have to substitute this equation I2 into equation 1. Let us say substitute I2 in equation 1, right? Therefore equation 1 implies what? We have V1 which is equals to Z11 I1 plus Z12. In place of I2 we have to substitute this, right? That is 1 by Z22 V2 minus Z21 by Z22 I1, that's it. Therefore V1 which is equals to, see, this is Z11 I1, here also we have what? Minus Z21 Z22 I1. So Z11 I1 minus Z12 into Z21 by Z22 I1 plus, like that, Z12 by Z22 V2. So V1 which is equals to, we have what? Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21 by Z22 into I1 plus Z12 by Z22 into V2, right? Then let us say this is one of the equation. Let us say this is equation 5. This is equation 5. Then you have to compare equation 1 and equation 5. See, this is similar to what? Equation 1, and so we have manipulated the given data, right? V1 is what? Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2. So this is what? V1 is equals to some part of I1 plus some part of V2, right? Sorry, this is, we have to match with equation 3, not 1, equation 3. See, H11 is what? This part. H12 is what? This part, right? Just we have to cross check equation 3 and equation 5, that's it. So from this, H11 is what? This part, and H12 is nothing but this part. We can write from equation 3 and 5. From equation 3 and 5, we have what? H11 is nothing but delta Z by Z22 that is Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21, right? Next H12, right? That is Z12 by Z22. Yeah, that's it. So finally we have H11 and H12. That's it. Next we have to get remaining parameters are what? H21 and H22. For that, I have to compare see I1 V2 I1 V2. I have to compare equation see 1 and 3. Equation 5 is what? If you compare this equation, let us say this is this is 6, okay, let us say this is 6, let us say this is 5. Here we can equation 3 and equation 6. Now it's clear. Now to get remaining two parameters H21 and H22, see, from this I2 is equals to what? 1 by Z22 V2 minus Z21 by Z22 I1. This is what? Equation 4. So if we compare equation 4 and equation 5, see, if you compare this equation and this equation, I2 which is equals to minus Z21 by Z22 I1 satisfied plus 1 by Z22 V2 satisfied. Then from equation 4 and 5 we have what? H1 to complete. Therefore H21 which is nothing but minus Z21 by Z22, like that. H22 is what? 1 by Z22. That's it. Only the simple trick is what? We have to manipulate only the given data representation. That's it. Only we have manipulated this part only, right? Only we have manipulated this part only, that is from equation 2 we have manipulated. That's it. From this only we are having the entire data of required parameters, that is H11, H12, H21, H22, right? So these are H11, H12, these are what? H21, H22. Next we have to get T parameter representation from Z parameter representation. First we have to write given data representation. Next what? Required data. Given data is what? Z, that is B1 is equals to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2, like that. B2 is equals to what? Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. From this required data, input supply voltage is equals to AV2 minus BI2, like that. I1 which is equals to CV2 minus DI2. Okay, this is what? Equation 1, this is equation 2, this is equation 3, this is equation 4. Now we have to manipulate only equation 1 and 2, that's it. Only this set, not this set. Okay, so here I am considering given that equation 4, because see, we have to compare equation 1 and 3. Here we are having Z12 I2, here we are having minus BI2. Only we have to get, we have to replace this V2, only we have to replace this V2. Okay, therefore Here I am considering the equation 2. From equation 2 I have to get the value of I1. I1 I want to take out, that is V2 minus, that is we can write 1 by Z21 into V2 minus Z22 by Z21 into I1. That's it. Let us cross check. Is it matches with any one of the equation? Let us say this is 5. Now equation 4 and 2, right? Equation 2, equation 5. Sorry, equation 1 and 5. We have to get I1 is what? Sorry, this is I2, right? That's why I have mistaken. This is I2. Now it's clear. See, if you match with what? Equation 4 and 5, this part is nothing but 1 by Z21 is nothing but C. This D is what? Z22 by Z21. Right? Now it's clear. From 4 and 5. From 4 and 5, you can have what? C. C is equals to what? 1 by Z21. Like that. D is equals to what? Only Z22 by Z21. That's it, right? Next, we have to substitute this equation I1 in equation 1. Substitute equation 5 in 1. Right? What is equation 1? V1 Z11 I1 is what? 1 by Z21 into V2 minus Z22 by Z21 into I2. Completed. Then Z12 I2. From this V1 is what? Z11 by Z21 into V2 minus, we have what? Z11 Z22 minus Z11 Z22 by Z21 I2 plus Z22 I2. This is what? Z11 into Z22 minus Z12. Sorry, this is Z12. That's it. So from this we have what? V1 which is equals to Z11 by Z21 into V2 Z11 by Z21. Then we have what? Minus delta Z, right? Delta Z by Z21. Clear? Delta Z by Z21 into I2. That's it. Only we have manipulated the given data. Let us say this is equation. How many equations so far? Now it is equation 6. Now V1 equals to what? V2 I2. Then we have to match this equation 6 with equation 3. Therefore, from equation 3 and 6, we have what? The data of A is nothing but what? Z11 by Z21, like that. B is equals to what? Delta Z by Z21, right? That's all for T parameters from Z parameter representation. So like that, we have to manipulate any parameter with any parameter. So we have to get any data of parameters from any data of parameters. So if you do the analysis same like this, we will get the summary. So we have the data of Y parameters from Z parameters. See, this is given data, this is required data, like that, from Z parameters to H parameters, then Z parameters to T parameters, like that, from Y parameters to Z parameters. We have the data of what? Z parameters from Y parameters in this, like that. See, H parameter data from Y parameter data, like that. ABCD parameters from Y parameters, then Z parameters from H, like that. Y from H, like that. H from T, like that. Z from T. That's all for different types of combinations from any data to any data. Okay.